so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked. That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are live.
Clipped.
Vanguard is not Vanguard is not live yet, but we do have a countdown timer. Welcome to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number 159. Wow. My name is Casey, also known as Razanon. Cringe. I am joined by Master of Kittens.
Thanks.
Tanner. Tanner, how many kittens are in your room at this time?
In the room, 0.
Oh, so you kicked them out. Got it.
Yes, they're all playing in the hallway and running around. Yep.
Cool, man. Are you sure Teddy's not murdering them?
He fucks them up a little bit, but they're fine. They'll survive.
That's rude.
What?
Teddy's a dick.
They
Why is
have
he
to-
fucking up children, dude?
They have
Come
to
on.
toughen them up. They beat them up a little bit. They always do that.
Little tough love.
They eat
yeah.
their food. They hiss at them. They smack them around a little bit. It makes them tough.
Yeah, well, okay. Anyway, welcome to the show. Today, we've got a lot of fun and exciting news to talk about. This will be the biggest info dump on Vanguard, also known as Call of Duty 2021, that we've had ever, in fact. Today, we played the reveal LTM event thing, which we're, of course, going to get into. We saw the trailer for the new game, which was pretty lengthy. It actually showcased quite a lot, and I think it was fairly revealing. And we also got a release date that we pretty much already knew. We've already talked about it on this podcast. It is now official. November 5th, 2021 is when Vanguard will release. More likely, to the correct time zone Pacific Kings out there, November 4th, 2021, 9 p.m. Pacific time. To that end, we have put on this broadcast for your convenience, a countdown timer underneath the main screen, which is me right now. You should see Vanguard release and then a countdown.
Look at that.
So
timer.
we've got 77 days, 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 5 seconds until Vanguard is live.
Nice.
So, not too far off, dude. Fewer than 3 months to go.
Yeah.
2.5 months to go. And that is pretty goddamn exciting. Now, what is in store for us? We will see. But before we get into that, a couple of announcements. Welcome to our new gold fucking kings, gold patrons, Keaton S. Not sure that's a real last name. Maybe it is.
Change it if it is.
Change it either way, of course. Keaton, welcome. And Gavin B. Boys, Kings, welcome aboard. Much fucking appreciated, dudes. Very kind of you, very helpful. You know, it would have been more helpful to be like Tyler H., one of our new platinum patrons, dude. Let's fucking go, Tyler. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. Also, Don't Care Bear. Welcome. King, welcome back, perhaps. Seeing your name for a while. Took you too long to sign up. But, hey, dude, welcome, finally. Welcome. Kidding. I appreciate it, dude. And Sliced Ham. Change it. Change it. Change it. Of course, change it. As well, welcome aboard to the platinum fucking train. And last and most, in fact, welcome to Bushman 12 in dial tone. Change it. Our new Damascus absolute fucking kings.
Let's
the best
go.
people on this list. Of course. Patreon.com/the Dropshot, boys and girls. It's how this dumb fucking show is funded. If you want to waste your money, piss it down the drain, consider doing it there. We got bonus EPs, 5 a month. We have community events, which we're going to get into in a second. And we have weekly hangouts and more. And more indeed. So thank you, boys, for joining up. Really appreciate it. Patreon.com/Dropshot. One word. Now, speaking of patrons, first of all, a bonus episode released this morning or yesterday morning. Don't know. Either way, it's live now.
This morning.
And we kind of went more into detail on the new perks. And we changed our position a little bit. A lot, depending on what we're talking about. With respect to Tempered, Combat Scout, and the EM2. And we went over that in the episode, and I think it was very insightful. It almost felt like a Warzone brainstorm kind of hybrid, honestly. But we had played more with the new perks and the EM2 since we had last talked about it, so we did a whole episode on those, and that is now live for you patrons out there. Now, what is not live, because it hasn't happened yet, is the Dropshot Invitational number 3. This is a tournament. Now, any and all patrons could have signed up. Now you can't. Now you can't sign up because the deadline is come and gone. In fact, the brackets and everything are already posted as well in the Discord. This is a Resurgence Island Rebirth Trios tournament.
Yikes. Resurgence
Tanner,
Island.
Whatever. Rebirth, Resurgence,
Cringe.
Rebirth Peninsula, Rebirth Archipelago tournament.
Okay.
And that's going to be this Saturday, the 21st at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Tanner and I have gone to great lengths to make this a fucking production, dude. Great lengths to make it a production.
Great lengths.
Now, Tanner said, well, because he didn't go to great lengths, and he's right. I shouldn't have said we went to great lengths because we didn't. I went to great lengths to make this a fucking production.
You think?
The likes of which you guys have never before seen. Not here, not anywhere. Cool. It is going to be an exceptional broadcast. Actually, we spent a lot of time getting everything ready outside of the rules and the brackets. I'm talking about, well, you'll see, won't you? Bitch, you'll fucking see.
Go find out.
So, you will figure it out. Whatever happened to those fucking trophies, Tanner, by the way? That's just not happening, right?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask
right
Goatedot in the Discord. He's supposed to keep on top of that. We're not paying him. I don't know what to tell you. Fuck Goat.
Yeah,
I thought it was something that was happening after anyways.
Okay. Well, either way, there's a $500 prize pool at stake.
It's also going to be a surprise, and you just ruined it, so.
Well, that sucks for them. Most of them will lose anyway. It doesn't matter.
It's probably not happening anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. As I said, signups are closed, but if you're around on Saturday, you should come watch live. It's going to be really fucking fun. It's going to be a great spectator event. The last tournament we did, we had quite a few people watching live, many of whom enjoyed themselves. And this tournament is going to be orders of magnitude better than the last one in virtually every way, especially on the viewer's end. So this is going to be, if there's ever been a Dropshot thing you want to see live, it should have been the 1-year anniversary. Beyond that, it should be this, for sure. This is going to be super fucking fun, and I encourage all of you, if you're not competing, to at least come watch. We're going to be streaming it publicly. Dropshot.com, thedropshot.com/live, and twitch.tv/TannerDropshot. Same feed. I'll be going to both. And yeah, that's public, so you don't have to be a patron or anything. But we're very, 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 very fucking excited about it. And we hope you are there live. And if you're not, we'll post it, of course, on YouTube as well. So don't worry about that too much, but be there live. Figure it the fuck out. Other than that, you may or may not be hearing advertisements on this episode. You already knew that, though. If you are, get fucked. We don't have anything to say on that right now, but we will on next week. We'll have more to say on that next week. But you'll figure it out. But
Stay
we'll
mad.
let you know. Yeah, we'll let you know.
Patrons know, kind of.
Yeah, and if you want to know, then patreon.com/dropshot peasant. Tanner, anything else you wanted to discuss before we get into it?
Nope.
All right. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is.
ZPib, the Primarino, 6 months, baby. Let's go. Thank you, ZPib. Appreciate that, bud. When we figure out the date, by the way, for the new map coming to Warzone, we should put that on the overlay as well. Because a lot of people will be more excited for that. We should do a COD 2022 timer.
Welcome to the show, and we'll edit that out, of course. Today, we have a lot of news to discuss. Not many changes that have already happened, really, to talk about. If there were, don't care, because we're focusing on Vanguard today. So, very briefly, Slums 24/7 is now in Cold War. Thank Christ, and finally. Thank Christ, and finally, we now have Slums 24/7 in Cold War. Awesome. And then in Warzone, what the fuck? Why do we have, what is this screenshot? Why do we have something from September 2nd to the 8th?
That's the thing. We don't know. So the playlist update doesn't matter. Remember I said I was putting this here. So at the bottom of this, Raven kind of hinted at this. So there's a playlist update coming for a couple weeks from now. I'm just going to throw it out here now because we got the info today. One of the new modes says classified, and Raven like tweeted this little thing out, and they're like, you like, oh, what is this classified shit? Side eyes, etc. So I'm kind of wondering if we're getting another sort of event. Maybe we're going to get another event that leads to another trailer? What if we're getting like what if we get like a multiplayer gameplay trailer then or something through an in-game event or some shit like that?
The timing would make sense too, because usually, like last year, we got the Cold War cinematic trailer, which is what we've gotten today for Vanguard. And then a couple days, it wasn't even that long after though. It was like 5 days later, we got the multiplayer gameplay reveal or whatever. So that's probably what this is. I can't imagine what else it would be. I mean, we know we're going to get a multiplayer gameplay reveal, right?
Yeah.
And now we're getting some weird thing in 2 weeks. It's probably that. It's probably tied to that. You're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping
that would
it
be
is.
my guess. Yeah,
But
that is.
I'm not
also
sure.
what
I
I'm
haven't
hoping
heard
it is.
anyone talking about that like as a potential in-game event or anything, but I don't know. We'll see. September 2nd is going to be something else happening in Warzone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Through the 8th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kind of play. Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know. Also, CDL Champs is on Sunday, the 22nd, a day after the Dropshot Invitational number 3. I know that's less exciting than the Dropshot Invitational number 3,
less,
but in
holy
case
shit.
you were, yeah, significantly. And less is on the line, less is at stake, fewer people will be watching. That's going to be on Sunday, the 22nd. And they're going to showcase Vanguard multiplayer here.
Very small snippet of it. There's not going to be much, but I think what it's going to be is some of the pros and like content creators that are at the event and shit have probably been invited to play. Just going to be something little though. I'm expecting maybe I don't even know. I don't think it's going to be much. They didn't say trailer. I think it's going to be more content creators playing the game. So I'm very excited for that. So that's coming this Sunday. So we're going to see our first look at any sort of multiplayer gameplay on Sunday. So that's pretty damn exciting. Pretty damn exciting.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for that.
sure. For sure. Excuse me. Yeah, I wonder what the classified thing is.
I don't know. That's why I'm thinking like maybe if they're going to hint and show like a little bit of multiplayer this week, maybe there's going to be something happening then that's like
But
more
why
of
would
a
it be a playlist update?
maybe it's just something dumb then and they're wasting everyone's time by tweeting out side eyes and saying what's this classified thing here the same day they do an event in the reveal for Vanguard. So it could just be some dog shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted on that. I am very curious though. And then also on the 25th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, you can see a campaign gameplay walkthrough of Vanguard on Gamescom. Is that a Twitch stream or is it a website?
I don't know. I just know it's an event that takes place. It'll probably be live streamed, I would imagine. Gamescom.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, that'll be cool too. Yeah. And we'll have more to say on all of this. Now, first, what we wanted to talk about is obviously the event. So this morning we actually live streamed. The reason we're doing this podcast on Thursday rather than Wednesday, by the way, is for this reason. The Vanguard reveal event happened this morning in game. It happened at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and it will be live until the 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So you have plenty of time, a number of days left to give it a shot, and you only need to play it once. We'll get into it. A couple things before we talk about what it was. I'm surprised at how smoothly it went, actually. I mean, got in, no problem.
No server issues, yeah.
No server issues, no server queue. The game mode went as intended, for whatever that's worth. And then, yeah, I mean, everything, it went off without a hitch, I would say. So the event itself, you queue into, in Warzone, Battle of Verdansk is what it was called. And there, you can queue in with a squad of up to 4 people. And the lobby is 32 people. You can't pick your own loadout. You drop in with a prefabricated loadout, including a field upgrade of munitions box, whatever your perks are. One of them is engineer and amped. And then you have an AR, either a FARA, an AK, or a Krig. And then an RPG is your secondary. And the entire purpose of the entire event, you and 32 other players, you can't fight each other. You're all just shooting at this train. So you guys know the train in Verdansk. It drives around Verdansk. It's a train on the same tracks as that. It's the same length as that, except it has a bunch of like armored turrets on top of it that look a lot like the tops of tanks. And they shoot you. And you shoot them. So the goal of this event is to destroy the train by like destroying all the turrets, and then each carriage, and then finally the locomotive. Excuse me. And then the train is blown up and you guys all win. Now, I'm curious if it's possible to lose this event. I would love to test that, but you'd have to get people willing to participate, and I'm not one of them, so never mind. I wouldn't love to test it.
I don't think you can lose. It, like, the damage you do to it though does actually make a difference, because I saw in Nick Merck's clip they destroyed the train at a different area, and that spot where you had to run to that exfil, theirs was in a totally different area too. So so it wasn't actually just like one option where like the train blows up either way when it does. It actually does make a difference doing the damage to it.
Yeah, so once you destroy the train, then there is like an exfil location marked on your map. You start running toward that while you're getting bombed by the B-52s. Not the band, the bombers, the old World War II bombers. And then you're like evading those and shit. You get to the rendezvous or whatever, and then the event ends and you like look up and there's like a fuck ton of World War II era bombers just flying in the same direction.
There's a lot. There's like 100.
Like so many. Yeah. Like so many. It's very odd. And then after that, the cutscene plays. So before we go any further, Tanner, what were your thoughts on the event itself? Not the trailer. The event itself.
The event itself. Well, I guess you explained everything. It was fine. The thing is, people, in my opinion, expected too much of the reveal, or of the event itself. My thing was never about the event. Oh, I can't wait to do this in-game event. No, it was about, oh, I can't wait to do whatever BS event there is so I can see the trailer. If you expected this event to be fun, well, you were just wrong. You're an idiot for thinking that. Of course, it's not going to be fun. There's not any in-game event that Activision is going to put in that's going to be fun that leads to a trailer. So we did one playthrough of it. That was enough. It was fine. It was what I expected because there had already been plenty of leaks from like Tom Henderson saying it was going to be something to do with the train. So nothing surprising at all. Thing was hard to destroy. It took quite a bit to destroy. It can kill you too, but luckily you respawn. The first time I died from it, I was like, bro, am I dead? But I'm like, oh, I didn't realize you just respawn and then you float back in and you have another gun again. I was like, bro, am I seriously fucking dead and I'm live streaming this thing? Cringe. So yeah, the event was about what I expected. Wasn't very exciting, but it was fine and it was an event. What does it have to do with a World War II game? Nothing.
Great question. Nothing. Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So could they have probably thought about it a little bit more and done something more in line with releasing a World War II game? Probably. But also, I don't care. We got the trailer, and that's all I wanted. So the event was fine. Out of 10, I would give it a 5. It was fine. Serviceable is about what I expected.
Yeah, so I largely agree with you. If you expected this event to be anything, I mean, who cares? That's the thing. It's like, I'm not kidding. I didn't think about the event. Like, no. I don't care at all. And I didn't care beforehand because, like Tanner said, I wasn't excited for the event. I was excited for the trailer and what we could learn from it. The event itself, didn't think about it. Like, actually.
I just know we had to do it. That's all we were doing the event.
It was a task. It was a chore we needed to do to get to the trailer. Exactly, yeah. Now, on the event itself, we've had fun events like this, like the last one, where you are a fucking zombie and shit, and there's juggernaut suits dropping and everything. That was actually really fun. And we played that like 4 times. That was really cool. This event, on the other hand, you can't shoot other people. Oh, we're not playing Call of Duty anymore. You can't even shoot other AI people. You're shooting a fucking train. Really catastrophically stupid. Now, again, I don't give a shit because it's a LTM that I was going to play a maximum of 3 times anyway. Even if it was the most fun event ever. Don't care. Not playing it. So it doesn't matter. But the event was fucking awful. I mean, so stupid. So fucking stupid. And why do you have to queue with 32 other people? You could have just made the same event and it could have been like a teacup from Disneyland that you have to destroy instead. Scale it down to 1 person or whatever. I don't know. Just really weird and dumb. But the event was, awful. But who cares? It doesn't matter at all. And I'm fine with it. Because we got the trailer out of it, which is the far more important piece of this whole puzzle.
Yeah,
now, the trailer,
the only important piece.
Right, yeah. Now, I'm not going to give a rundown exactly of the trailer, but I put some notes on the trailer that I found interesting. First of all, it was pretty fucking long. It felt like a longer trailer than I was expecting. I don't know if it's a longer trailer than like the Cold War cinematic trailer or the MW cinematic trailer was, but it certainly felt that way to me. Did it feel long to you?
It felt very long.
Longer than
I was
normal?
thinking that same thing, yeah. I don't remember how long the Cold War one was. This was longer than I thought it was going to be. That was probably, 2.5 minutes maybe?
Yeah, I would say about that. It was quite fucking long.
Yeah. So it was over 2 minutes. It was definitely cinematic, that's for sure, versus gameplay oriented, but that'll come later, yeah.
Another point, though, I would like to make is it was a cinematic trailer, but there were like 2 or 3 scenes where it actually shows somebody shooting a gun in first-person mode.
Yeah.
With like gameplay FOV. Like it looked like it could have been a clip of someone playing hardcore with like no HUD. Because everything else was the same. Like you're behind a gun shooting it, and the FOV is all correct. And I was like, that looks oddly close to like a gameplay thing. It wasn't, but still. I found that interesting. More interestingly, first of all, they specifically mention 4 different theaters of war. So Vanguard is a World War II game, so we'll start there. The Pacific Front, the Eastern Front, the Western Front, the North African Front. I think they called them campaigns. That is how you would say that if you were a historian, but because we play video games, I didn't want to confuse people into thinking we have 4 playable campaigns. No. But probably not. Almost certainly not. No, definitely not. So, but still, the theaters involved, the locales, are all of them in World War II. North Africa, Pacific, Eastern, and Western Front. I was very pleased with this, mainly because of the North African Front. I was talking about this earlier. I don't think I even knew that there was any activity in North Africa in World War II until I was well out of high school. Like, we did not learn that in high school. Or if we did, we talked about it once, and I didn't retain that information.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we talk about Normandy like, you know, that's half the fucking chapter on World War II is Normandy, the storming of Normandy. Which is fine, I guess, but I just didn't even know North Africa was a thing. And then that's been kind of my experience with video games, too. I've played plenty of, like, World War II video games. It's always focused on fucking killing Nazis and shit. Which, cool, I'm on board with that. But let's change it up a little bit. If we're going to go back to World War II for the 40th time, let's at least try to freshen it up a little bit. And one way to do that is to implement the North African campaign, which was a real place where this war happened, or part of it did anyway. So that's been super cool, or that is super cool to see. And I don't think I've played any other video game besides like a Battlefield where North Africa was involved at all, as far as World War II goes. Is there any other one? Am I overvaluing this?
It was in Call of Duty 2.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
Let me see something here. Let me, because Tujane, is that a map in Northern Africa? I think it is, right?
I've never heard of Tujane. I'll look it up, though. Tujane. Let's see.
I think it is. Is it? Yeah, it is. So that's North Africa. That was my favorite map in Call of Duty 2. And so I'm hoping I talked about this, I think, last year on a Patreon episode. That was one of the maps I wanted to see recreated in a COD because that was one of my top 10s of all time. I'm hoping it comes back in this game. If there's North Africa Theater, I'm very excited for that because that gives me hope for that map. That was a fun map. Bunch of rooftop fighting and shit in this little desert village. Very fun. Very fun. So yeah, the older CODs for sure had North Africa in it, but I'm just glad that it's not something like all Pacific. Pacific is cool. It's disgusting, gritty warfare, bloody, but in video games it doesn't always play the best because it's cluttered with shit. It's dirty.
Especially multiplayer.
There's bushes everywhere. It's wet.
Water. Yeah.
There's dead bodies everywhere, I would imagine. So it's not a great place for multiplayer settings, in my opinion. Like the way they do it now, at least. Because like all the Battlefield maps that are set in the Pacific, fucking awful. The worst maps there are. And it's because you can't see anyone. There's just bushes everywhere, water. It's bad. So I'm thankful they're not just doing that for this game, and we're getting like, you know, what we already know. We're gonna get desert themed maps if it's North Africa. We're gonna get cities. We're gonna get the Pacific Theater. So I like that.
Yeah, and one thing you say about how you like desert maps and shit too.
Yeah,
true.
Because the
visibility is so good. The visibility is so good. So if they have like a bunch of, you know, Egyptian maps.
Well, let's say they do some shit like in Rust where they just add a bunch of dust for no reason and you can't see across the map.
And Activision would do that. So yeah, maybe not. But still very cool. Even from like a just like a historical perspective, I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
To get active there. Another thing we noticed, lots of vehicles, and I mean that in every sense of the phrase. A lot of types of vehicles, a lot of time spent focusing on these vehicles in the trailer.
That was most
I
of the
mean,
trailer.
we could do an analysis, and you see more vehicle fucking fighting than infantry fighting, actually. Interesting.
Know who else did that, by the way? The Battlefield trailer, a game that revolves around vehicles. Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Super crazy. Yep. It felt a lot like a Battlefield trailer, actually. And just the sheer number of actual vehicles on the fucking screen was a lot too. So lots of vehicles in three senses of that sentence. We had tanks, we had planes that shot, pew pew, fighter planes. We had boats, we had bomber planes, we had aircraft carriers, we had flak guns, we had mounted machine guns that you couldn't move that were like on the map. Again, looks a lot like a Battlefield trailer.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of Battlefield items I just listed that I don't associate with Call of Duty. Tanks, maybe, because we had them in Ground War for MW. Maybe. One-dimensional cringe dog shit tanks. Certainly no fucking planes that shot people. Or shot guns at all, really. So that was surprising. I wouldn't have been very surprised if there had been vehicles and vehicular combat being showcased in the trailer, honestly, because it's been leaked for quite a while. But the degree to which it was focused on does surprise me. Holy shit. They are hyping up the vehicle play a lot. Am I overreacting, or is there a lot of vehicle focus in this trailer?
It was definitely way more vehicle focused than infantry focused by a lot. There was even, it wasn't just clips of like a plane flying over and you're looking at it from the ground and it's strafing something. No, there were clips where you're first person in the pilot seat coming down on a fucking or a pillbox or something and lighting it up with your guns. First person. Show the cockpit. I mean, you were in the cockpit. It showed like the reticle. I don't know what they call them, those World War II planes that's like on the glass in front of you. It showed all that. Definitely made it seem like there are first person planes in Call of Duty Vanguard.
Yeah.
I don't know why else they would show that specific angle, especially. So.
Yeah, there are. There have to be. There has to be.
That was leaked months ago from Tom Henderson. He said that there's going to be a lot of vehicles in this game.
So here are the three possibilities for vehicles in Vanguard. Possibility number one, we're going to go from worst case to best case. No, we're going to go from best case scenario to worst case scenario. Okay, best case scenario. There is a playlist that is similar to like Ground War from Modern Warfare. And in this playlist, you have all this nonsense. You got planes, trains, and automobiles. Okay. Option 2, we have vehicles in that and in like smaller scale multiplayer modes, such as like 10v10, for example, or combined arms, for example. Okay, getting dicey. Now I'm kind of mad, but it's fine because I still have a Sanctuary and sixes and in Warzone. And then option 3,
maybe in
Warzone. Option 3, all of them, all three. Now I think 6v6 Call of Duty this year is going to be safe from bombers, player controlled bombers.
Yeah,
there will still be kill streaks. Certainly, but I don't think you're going to be able to just go play Nuketown and then go to the fucking airfield and just fucking start shooting people. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think sixes is safe, but maybe we see it in smaller scale modes in multiplayer for Vanguard, and not just in their biggest mode called War. And then even more scarily. Maybe we see it in Warzone. What do you think is most likely? Because I know this wasn't a Warzone trailer, so maybe I'm bugging. Maybe it's not coming to Warzone.
Yeah. Good point.
And I'm getting scared. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
This, to me, seems like ground war as we know it. So we thought ground war was bad in Modern Warfare 2019, right? Because there were APCs. I think this is the new ground war. I think we're going to see tanks and planes on certain maps. And then there's probably other maps where maybe it's just tanks. I believe that's what it's going to be like. It's probably going to be 48 players, 64 players. It's probably going to be like Conquest style, like Battlefield, capture 5 different flags. And it's going to be larger scale maps for sure. And I think you're going to, like ZPib asked in chat, I feel like it's going to be like Battlefield where you spawn in those vehicles. No, it's not like you have to buy them at a buy station or something like that. No, I think they're going to be there and you can spawn in them.
Yes.
That's kind of my thought process. In terms of like boats or ships, I don't think that'll be in the game. I think that was just cinematic bullshit. If anything, there will probably be like a map that takes place on an aircraft carrier, like Armada and Cold War, shit like that. I'm sure we'll get something along those lines, but I don't think we'll have any sort of like ships or boats come into play actually.
Okay. Well, one thing I'll say about this, as bad as this could be, again, as I mentioned, there are also flak guns that are prominently showcased in the trailer, as well as just mounted machine guns. That actually makes all this vehicle stuff a lot more palatable. And here's why. Would ground war be better or worse if there were mounted machine guns that you could kill tanks with? Well, of course it would be better. A lot better. Because in ground war, the problem is there are tanks. That's it. There are tanks and there's you. And you get fucked by a tank. And you have to shoot it with like 4 Pila rockets to destroy it. That is not fun and exciting. Yeah. But if there were mounted machine guns that shot like really big chunky rounds where it was like hard to kill people, but very easy to hit the broadside of a tank with that did a lot of damage, that would be a lot better. Because there would be some outplay potential for a tank without having to get in a tank yourself. Get in a tank yourself. Which would be better, I think. And then the same with the planes. Well, you know, if you had to rely on a heat-seeking missile, which I don't think existed in fucking World War II, to kill them, well, then, yikes. Won't play that game. But if there are flak guns, then there's some counterplay as well to the planes. So, not as worried about it. I'm hoping this is only in the war, ground war / war game mode, and then I think this would actually be kind of fun. But then the question becomes, how well will these things be implemented in Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Has Call of Duty ever had planes before? Not that I remember.
Nope.
They've had some campaign shit where you like fly a plane and it's like pretty tracked and not sophisticated at all and very few degrees of freedom because you're in a campaign. So I wouldn't say there's been any kind of even remotely close enterprise as having planes and all this other shit as well in a Call of Duty multiplayer experience. That's going to be very interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see how well they implement these.
Yeah.
Because they're new at it. Now, they could do it well. I don't know. And then another question this raises is, are we going to have the ability to repair vehicles like you can in Battlefield? Do you think that's going to be a thing? Is that going to be a field upgrade? Is it going to be a tactical? Is there going to be some other kind of thing?
I would rather they just get blown up quicker.
I agree, but they're copying a lot of Battlefield. Who knows what else they'll copy?
Yep. True.
Maybe that's going to be some kind of operator ability or something, a repair kit or something. I don't know. But overall, odd. If they keep it the fuck away from Warzone and they keep it away from most of multiplayer and they relegate this to like their large scale multiplayer experience, then I'm actually happy with this. That'll be cool. Because it is immersive fun to play the large scale game modes with fucking bombs dropping everywhere and tanks fucking your ass. It's actually kind of fun.
For a little bit.
When you're in the mood for that. But that's a casual gaming experience. Sometimes I want a casual gaming experience and I want to be immersed, and then that'll be great. But sometimes I want to play Call of Duty and I don't want to get a B-52 carpet bombing me because I want to play Call of Duty. I want to play infantry-based warfare.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But it's hard to predict where exactly these vehicles will be implemented. It's
hard to predict anything from a reveal trailer like this too. As you were talking, I just went through and I went through the Modern Warfare reveal trailer. It also, nothing in that trailer looks anything like how the game played. Half of the trailer was that night ops mode that they had where it was like dark and you have night vision on.
Yeah.
So it's like they focus on things that people don't end up doing. There's also stuff in here where like there shows a bunch of APCs rolling through, and then they get fucking dive bombed by like an airstrike or by a plane that comes over and blows it all up. So even things like that make it seem like it's a lot more vehicle based. So it's like at the end of the day, this is basically to get people hyped, and it doesn't have a whole lot to do with the gameplay. You know, like there's shit in the Modern Warfare trailer where it's like there's a person downed shooting a pistol as you're dragging him. So it's like we would watch that and think maybe in like Warzone you're gonna have the option to drag people or something, you know, but it's like no, this is just part of the reveal trailer. That's all it is. There's like no gameplay, which is funny because at the start of this they say actual in-game footage. Crazy, because I've never been able to drag anyone in Infinity Ward. I don't know why you put that in there, right?
This isn't Red Dead Redemption 2, yeah.
So yeah, at the end of the day, this is not a gameplay trailer, so the fact they focused mostly on vehicles is a little concerning, but also, yeah, if there's a game mode where I can choose to, you know, use all those vehicles and there's a few maps of it and it's like the ground war, I'll play it. Yeah, absolutely. I'll fuck around with that. But as long as they don't touch regular multiplayer and this shit doesn't come to Warzone, I'll be fine. I'll be totally okay with that. I think they know better than to bring this shit to Warzone. How would you even do that? How are you going to have a fucking fighter plane in a battle royale? Isn't that what Battlefield tried to do and it didn't work out? I don't know what happened with that. I just know people don't play that mode. I don't know what was wrong with it exactly, but was it stuff like that, you know? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so. I don't know. But like you said too, though, the fact that a lot of the vehicle shit was from first person, I think is indication enough that there will be like first person planes.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah. As long as it's not in Warzone.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I agree with you. Shouldn't put too much stock in this trailer because it is to just get people super hyped up. Yeah. So, and then another note you've written here is one-sided maps. So what we mean by that is if any of you have ever played Battlefield before, there are maps on
5,
game.
Right? Is that what we've been? Yeah, yes. Battlefield 5. Okay.
Yeah, maybe others as well, but in Battlefield 5, certainly, there are maps where they are always, like one directional. So, like, if you're playing on, I don't know what the maps are called. What's the terrible one?
They're all terrible.
Fuck. Whatever.
All those Pacific maps are horrible.
Yeah, the Pacific. Well, Wake Island. Okay, if you're playing on Wake Island, I think, You're either an attacker or a defender. And whether you're an attacker or a defender determines where you spawn. And if you're an attacker, you always spawn on side A. You never spawn on side B. So it's like a one-sided map in that respect. Where it's like attackers are always spawning here and they're trying to work their way in there. If we're getting maps for multiplayer that are large enough to feasibly use a fighter jet in, or fighter plane in, then that map would definitely be big enough for a one-sided type of game mode like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that idea is bad. I don't think it is. But there will be some maps where you just have to be a defender or you lose, and vice versa. Like, oh, attacking is so OP on fucking Tempest, but defending is so OP on Wake Island or something. Those things happen with like all of these one-sided maps, and that can be a problem. But also, it's really fun when the map is done well, I would imagine, and it's relatively balanced, and the defending team and the attacking team have a chance to win. So, will maps this big in Call of Duty bring about these one-sided maps? They certainly could. Do you think they will, Tanner?
It's almost hard not to have them one-sided, because it's like you're saying, they're so big, and so like you spawn on a different island or on like ships in Battlefield if you're on the American side, and then you have to push the other team, like the Japanese team, and they're all in fucking bunkers, pillboxes, all this shit, and it's like it's hard to fight them because they're already in there and like they're defending. And I feel like that's kind of the way they have to do these large scale Pacific maps, because like that's how it was. That's like realistic. So they're not going to make it whereas like both sides are just in bunkers fighting off the rip. It's like it almost has to be that way. So to me, all of those maps are so one-sided in Battlefield. We very rarely won as the attacking team. The defending team would always just fuck your ass because it's so much easier to defend. So that's just kind of a thought and a worry I had, specifically with those Pacific maps, because there's large bodies of water in between like your next objective. So it's like you're trying to get to that next objective, and they're on a mounted MG fucking your ass, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, is that necessarily going to be an issue? No, it's just a thought that I had because I know it's a big issue in Battlefield. Like, those Pacific maps are cool looking, awful to play. They play worse than all of them in Battlefield 5, it seems, in my opinion.
Crossing the water is such a good point. You're right. That's what makes it so tough.
Yeah.
That's why in real life, Normandy was such a fucking disaster, because we were coming from the water, and they knew it, and they were on land.
Yep.
So they set it up.
Yep.
They've got mounted machine guns pointed at you, and you're in the water. What are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
And it plays that way. Shocker. It plays that way. It's fucking tough. It's annoying. Yeah, true. Good point. Yeah, I think you might be right. It depends on the playlist they have though. Like if they have only domination, where it's like 5 flags instead of 3, which is what Ground War is, by the way. So there's only one game mode for Ground War. It's domination. If they do that, then they wouldn't have to be one-sided. But I feel like if they're going to add all these vehicles and shit, they're going to make multiple different game modes for the same maps that are of the same size and for the same number of players in that mode. So I don't think it'll be only Ground War domination anymore. I think there will be other things. And I think if you have that many players, you can't do fucking Hardpoint, for example.
Yeah.
So what else are they going to do? I mean, you could do like Rush, like Cold War had, and they called it...
in Battlefield?
No. In Cold War, what was it called? Combined Arms Assault.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like Rush, so they could do that. That doesn't have to be one-sided. It can't be, actually. And then Domination. But then they could maybe do some one-sided maps, too. We'll see. So, yeah. I don't know, but we'll see.
Cool.
Overall review, though, on the trailer. I mean, I learned more from it than I thought I would.
Yeah.
So I was actually kind of surprised. Number 1, it was way longer than I expected it to be. That was cool. Number 2, you actually saw people shooting from first person point of view. Don't really know why I care about that, but I liked it. So cool. A lot of focus on vehicles, which is disconcerting because I don't have much faith in Activision to do something well, especially something they're new at, which is a bunch of vehicle gameplay. So we'll see if it's done well. That'll be cool, and it's relegated to a mode. Then fine, that'll be great. What else? The fucking 4 different campaigns or theaters or whatever, very cool. Really like that. Not very story focused, by the way, which I was kind of surprised by. Not very story focused at all. Because I think we've got like the MDub cinematic trailer. I'm pretty sure that was like a campaign. That night vision part of the trailer was a campaign mission. And it was like really focused on fucking Soap and
Yep, it
and
was.
John and Austin 316. Oh my god, it's the Stone Cold Stunner. So this was not focused on the campaign like at all. If it was, I didn't notice at all. It certainly wasn't the usual suspects. So that was interesting as well. Which is not terribly surprising because Call of Duty doesn't make its money on campaigns anymore. It makes it on Warzone. So so interesting. But overall, good trailer. It performed as expected. What I was surprised by was how long it was and how much vehicles were focused on. What were your overall thoughts?
Yeah, too much focus on vehicles for Call of Duty, it seems, but it was a hype trailer. It's very exciting to watch. And like I was saying, you have to just remember half of the shit they show in there isn't going to be anything related to how the game plays anyways. It's just to drop hype, get people excited. So in terms of doing that, I think it did a really good job. I know everyone is still just upset that it's World War II, and I get it, but as long as the customization is good on the weapons, I think we'll be fine. And it's launching with a lot of good shit, which we'll get into here in a second. So overall, yeah, this trailer definitely got me excited for the game. We are ready for Vanguard. Absolutely.
Yeah, indeed. Now, on to news and upcoming changes. This is going to be the more interesting portion of this broadcast, and we have a lot to go over. A lot of this is official information. A lot of it, well, some of it are leaks. And we're going to start at the top here, announcing Call of Duty Vanguard. This is a blog post by Call of Duty themselves, callofduty.com. It was written by Call of Duty staff, they say. Excuse me. I'm going to read a little excerpt here. This is World War II combat like never seen or like never before. Okay. Witness the origins of special forces as you play a pivotal role and change the face of history, forming Task Force 1 in a gripping campaign across 4 major theaters of war, as we discussed. Become an original Spec Ops guy in an online multiplayer rich in innovation with 20 maps available at launch, which we'll come back to. Prepare for a franchise first universe expanding zombies crossover. Okay. What? Crossover? Weird. Immerse yourself in a fully integrated Call of Duty Warzone experience featuring a new and massive map. This is the most connected Call of Duty ever, all powered by the next generation Call of Duty engine introduced in Modern Warfare. This is Call of Duty Vanguard. So that's kind of the synopsis they gave there.
A few things real quick I want to say. I know we'll get into more of this, but it's funny how they make sure to point out the number of maps at launch. They make sure to point out a new and massive map, which I didn't think they would even say anything about, honestly.
This early? Yeah, I
yes.
didn't either.
And also they mentioned the Modern Warfare engine. I think the first thing, the maps and the Modern Warfare engine are both basically, they're saying that because the Cold War launch was awful. A lot of people didn't like the engine, the movement, and there was an issue with the maps, which we'll get more into here. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
I may have to murder some kittens here in the background if you guys keep hearing them meow. There's one right now. Holy fuck. These dog shit kittens. Holy shit, man.
You have to show them on. They're trying to get screen time.
I may need to go feed them in a few minutes. Maybe that's why they're crying. I don't know.
It's possible, yeah. Well, if you starve them, they'll cry. Yeah, that's how it works. 20 maps available at launch. Quite a few. Quite a few. So yeah, well, we will get more into that, as you said, right?
Well, yeah, a little bit. There's not a whole lot to get into, but we'll get more into it. Yeah.
Okay. So throughout the campaign, this is kind of what I expected. You are playing one campaign, but you're playing through the eyes of 4 different soldiers, depending on the theater you're in. So I think Call of Duty games have done this before. So Australian, 9th Infantry Division, British 8th Army. This is probably the North African campaign soldier. You play as Private Lucas Riggs. And then another dude, Arthur Kingsley, Sergeant from the British Army. I would guess that would be the Eastern Front. Wade Jackson, U.S. Navy, Western Front. Oh, wait, no. No. Arthur Kingsley is probably the Western Front.
Yeah.
Wade Jackson's probably the Pacific Front.
Yep.
And then Polina Petrova is the Eastern Front. And guess where she's from? Russia.
Are you mad about that?
We'll edit that out, of course.
Cool.
So that's cool and fun and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So Call of Duty Vanguard is set to feature a massive day one multiplayer offering with 20 maps available at launch, including 16 built for core gameplay. What does that mean? I don't know, but my guess is that means either there will be 4 maps for the giant fucking war mode or 4 like gunfight maps or something. Because neither of those would constitute core maps. What do you think that means, Tanner?
So when you get down here a little bit further, there's a new game mode they're introducing called Champion Hill. And that's going to be 4 of the maps. And then the other 16 are core maps. So
okay.
I saw a few leakers saying 16 6v6 maps at launch. I think they're just wrong. Nowhere does Call of Duty say that. They say core multiplayer maps. Because if you think about it, again, if people thought about these things before they tweeted shit like that out, 16 6v6 maps and then 4 of this new game mode. Okay, where's like the ground war mode and that shit? That's in the game. Those same people have said it, so their math is a little bit off there. So I think these 16 maps going to be core multiplayer. My guess is maybe 12 of those are like actual 6v6, and then the other ones are probably ground war, whatever a larger scale game mode is going to be called this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what that's going to be. I also wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these are maps directly from the new Warzone map. So this new Warzone map is probably going to have some old remastered maps in it. I bet there will be 1 or 2 that are inside of the new Warzone map, and also that launches... or those remastered maps and multiplayer launch with the game. And then there's probably going to be other areas of the new Warzone map that are going to be put directly into multiplayer right away. Because that makes the most sense. When Cold War came out, they didn't design a whole new Warzone map, right? They didn't change the Warzone map. So it makes more sense now as they design this Cold War map. They also design it in mind with 6v6 maps, and some of those get implemented in. Then they kill 2 birds with 1 stone. They don't have to make entirely separate maps. It makes a lot of sense, and I'm totally okay with that. Just throwing that out there. So we'll probably see more maps built into Warzone that are also 6v6 maps that we haven't seen before. All new maps, but it's just it's their way of doing 2 things at once.
Yes, indeed. I agree with you. And yeah, if you nest a map within a map within a map like MW has done, that's fine if the map's good. I don't care. I'm happy to accept that.
Zokov Boneyard. Fine ground war map, I think. Great spot in Warzone too. That's nobody
fine as well.
Nobody's going to complain about that.
Yeah.
I think that's great they do that. Less time spent making maps that are probably going to be shit, and instead just do it from the areas of Warzone that you've already created.
Right. Agreed. Yeah. So, agreed. Another thing here is interesting. Man, a lot of this is super interesting. Sledgehammer Games is bringing the fast-paced, tactical first-person combat and further innovating it with many more ways to play. These include an advanced gunsmith and caliber system that brings immersive and reactive environments to a new level. Okay. And the next generation of the seminal 2v2 wasn't seminal gunfight mode first introduced in Modern Warfare called Champion Hill. Change it. Imagine quick action, close quarters, small squad combat in which 8 teams compete in a series of head-to-head matchups where the last team standing wins. So we'll go backwards here. Champion Hill.
I don't know what to think of this.
Well, it just sounds like a gunfight tournament, but the one match is a whole tournament. So 8 teams of 16 players. 2 teams go against each other. If you lose, then you lost the match. And if you win, you go on to the next round until you win the whole match. So it's like a miniature gunfight tournament. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something here.
What the leakers are describing it as a mini battle royale, which I'm not understanding when they're saying close quarters, small squad, quick action combat. I guess you can consider it a battle royale because it's a bunch of different teams fighting, but it doesn't sound at all like a battle royale. Doesn't make it sound that way. I mean, maybe you drop in real quick and there's guns and you grab them and you don't have loadouts, and that's why they're calling it a battle royale. A mini battle royale, but either way, this game mode is supposed to be 4 of those 20 maps, as I was saying. It sounds like a game mode. I don't know what to think of it yet. It's probably going to be something kind of whatever, something that may not be played that often. Sounds weird, really.
It seems to me indistinguishable from a gunfight tournament. So 8 teams compete in a series of head-to-head matchups. So that's one team versus another team, where the last team standing wins. I don't see how anyone could construe that as a mini BR.
They made it sound like all those teams are landing at once, though there's 8 teams fighting against each other. But so there's a disconnect here, yeah, because if that's what they're trying to get across here, this writer should be fired because that's not how it comes across at all. Holy fuck these kittens. I need to... Oh my god.
Just put on a little screen, bud. It's fine.
Jesus, fuck.
They're so loud.
They're loud as shit. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. You're right, because it is sounding more like a gunfight tournament because they're saying head-to-head matchups. When you say head-to-head, that makes it sound like one team versus one team. So could be more the writer here is in the wrong, and like Tom Henderson and some of the other leakers are kind of getting it right, and they just described it poorly here. But who knows? There's going to be a new game mode. We know that.
Yeah. And they're also, another reason I think it's that is because they are calling it the next generation of gunfight. So of course it's going to be similar to gunfight. Otherwise they wouldn't base their description off of the gunfight mode. I would put my money on this being... Maybe these leakers are saying that there's some other thing that's like a mini BR and it's not this. I don't know.
Nope, this is literally what they were saying. They even pointed it out and said this is it.
So they are not correct. Either this is the most poorly written piece of media that Activision's ever put out, which is saying a lot, by the way, or those leaks are just wildly misinformed or misleading, or also poorly written. I don't know. But a series of head-to-head matchups that's also a spiritual successor to Gunfight sounds like a gunfight tournament based off of Gunfight. Seems like it's probably that. I don't know. But whatever. We'll see. In any case, no matter what this is, it's not going to be popular. So it actually doesn't matter very much. Very few people are going to play this, just like very few people played Gunfight or the Gunfight tournaments in both MW and in Cold War. I don't know why they need to name it Champion Hill. First of all, don't change the name at all. Second of all, definitely don't change it to Champion Hill. Weird. Anyways, moving on from there. Zombies. A brutal, enthralling experience developed by Treyarch. I don't think there's much else to say other than this. We've already covered this. This was leaked or announced even, that Treyarch is going to be in charge of zombies this year. And this is a best case scenario, because that means the best team to do zombies is doing zombies. That's good. And also because a separate team is doing zombies, that leaves multiplayer devs with more resources to focus on multiplayer.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
We've already gone through this, but just to confirm, Treyarch is making the new zombies, and everyone, even if you're not a zombies player at all, should be happy about that, because now your dev for multiplayer is able to focus on multiplayer. So
yeah,
that's good.
And there's going to be some sort of event. So we'll get down here later. They say expect a detailed preview of zombies as Hallows Eve approaches. And they say
Maybe
all
that's September 2nd.
Hallows Eve. No. It's going to be like a Halloween type event. So probably in Warzone we'll get some Halloween event. I bet that's what it makes it sound like, because All Hallows Eve is capitalized like an event name or a title. So it's probably going to be maybe an event in Warzone or something, where we then get a trailer of the new zombies. That would make the most sense.
Yeah. Okay. Next, Call of Duty Warzone. A new map and new anti-cheat software.
Oh, that's good.
Oh wait, sorry, I misspoke. My bad. Let me edit that out. New anti-cheat system. Sorry about that. My mistake. Okay. Well, and we'll get into it, of course. Warzone is set to make COD history with a brand new main map launching later this year. They even put an exclamation point.
COD history. Oh, wow.
With development led by Raven, Warzone will also feature a new PC anti-cheat system across the entire experience when it launches with the new map. Okay. And that's all they say on that. So, right out of the gate here, a little scant on the details. We're getting a new anti-cheat system across the entire experience. What? What a great way to put a lot of words and not say a goddamn thing. That's crazy. That's a lot of words to use to say almost nothing, actually. What does this mean? Anti-cheat system across the entire experience. What?
Well, it gets even worse if you keep reading. Anti-cheat system across the entire experience when it launches with the new map. Yeah, who does it say who wrote this? It's probably that same. It's probably fucking Liam. Is it Liam?
It says
that
Call of Duty
fucking
staff.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Liam, yeah.
Liam needs to be fired from Charlie Intel. Yeah, this kind of makes it sound like a whole across the entire experience makes it sound like, oh, they're talking about like multiplayer and shit too. But then they say when it launches with the new map. Okay, so then that's just Warzone.
Yeah, and Warzone will also feature a new anti-cheat system across the entire experience. What does that mean? Why did you say across the entire experience?
How do writers get hired by Activision and then write like this? Could I do a better job in the majority of the time? Probably not. But I'm not fucking applying for a writing position at Activision. I don't get it.
I think Whitey could do a better job writing.
Oh, let's not get crazy. Maybe. Yeah.
Than these people.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, but here's the thing. Here's the
black helicopter
take. Okay. They know what they're doing. They're being intentionally vague for a purpose. Because it's actually hard to say that many words and not communicate anything. You have to actively try to do it.
Yeah.
So, why are we so mauled about this? Here's why. This does not say a new PC anti-cheat software called Punkbuster. You can check out their website here. That would be awesome. I would love to see that. Or a new PC anti-cheat system that we've developed called Fuck Off.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a kernel sniffer, and you can read our
Sniff
blog
my
post
kernels,
here on
dude.
what it's going to do. Sniff all my kernels, yeah. None of that. It is the most vague clause ever written. Doesn't mean anything. And when they say anti-cheat system, they leave out that it would be a software. If it was a software, they probably would have said so. Now, is it possible that what they mean to say, or what is in the works, is a new software, third party or otherwise, or in-house? Possible, yes. Anti-cheat software would be an anti-cheat system. However, unlikely, because if that were the case, they probably would have said so. And why we're so mad is a new anti-cheat system could mean literally anything. I mean anything. So,
Yeah.
for example, let's say they have a system now where they respond to a ticket or a report, they investigate a report in 7 days or less. Okay. And then when Vanguard releases, they investigate a report in 5 days or less. That would constitute a new PC anti-cheat system across the entire experience. That would fit this description. And now you see why we're mad, because that wouldn't fucking fix anything. But they're trying to make it sound like it would. That's the issue. So, real scant on details here, and I'm concerned why. I have also heard, though, that on the anti-cheat frontier, these devs have to be guarded, because if they reveal too much, then the cheaters get the upper hand or something. I don't know how much truth
That makes
there is
sense.
to
Yeah, that makes sense.
that. It does make sense.
I feel like they'll figure it out either way, though. Cheat providers will figure it out either way, even if they have any sort of info at all, you know?
Yeah, and like if they told us we're developing a new software, I mean, would that make it any easier for cheat providers than them just saying a new anti-cheat system? I kind of doubt it. So, I don't know. I'm not happy with this, but we'll see. This is better than them not saying anything about anti-cheat as they have for the past 18 months. So I'll take it, but it's not great. That's kind of where I'm at with this. Warzone will also continue to honor your past gameplay experiences as universal progression is set to continue. That's cool. This means that players of MW, Cold War, and Vanguard can look forward to the following. All content earned via Paddle Pass, all that shit. It's still fully integrated, just like Cold War was, which is cool. Full integration between Vanguard and Warzone will roll out when the new Warzone map launches later this year. And that is totally unsurprising. With Vanguard and Warzone sharing a free post-launch content, sharing free post-launch content, a massive calendar of new maps. You wouldn't say a calendar of new maps. I fucking hate these people.
A colossal calendar brimming with free post-launch. Wait, is that what you're talking about?
No. With Call of Duty Vanguard and Warzone sharing free post-launch content, a massive calendar of new maps. Maybe there's a different use of the word calendar, but I've never heard that use before. A suite of new maps?
Ow.
A collection?
Yeah,
An
true.
assortment?
What the heck?
A calendar? Never heard that one before. Modes, playlists, limited time and seasonal events, as well as community celebrations integrated between the two games. Expect the most connected COD experience ever seen. So all of that is unsurprising. And this is somewhat promising. Prepare for further info on Vanguard and Warzone, as well as info on the new anti-cheat system in the coming weeks prior to Vanguard's launch. What do you think this anti-cheat system is? What do you think that means?
I'm hoping it's an actual software that they've like created, and they're just describing it poorly because, yeah, like Home Depot changed it, just said in chat, if the engine's the same as Modern Warfare, the source code is the same. That is true. That is absolutely true. This is the same engine they've had for a while. So it would have to be some sort of a software, I would imagine, to do anything. Because, yeah, the cheat providers have the source code. They can make hacks for it, theoretically. So this has to be something outside of the actual engine, I would imagine, to do anything. Or they're just wrong, and it's not going to do anything, and we're getting fucking baited. Which is a possibility. Because in case you guys didn't know, there's no skill-based matchmaking in large-scale game modes that Call of Duty has. That's never been a thing. So they've never lied to us about anything, so I'm sure they're not going to fuck us with this either.
Right.
I'm very hopeful, though, that this is just a software and they're just saying system because they're not thinking about it, and people usually don't think about it. People just see anti-cheat and say anti-cheat, anti-cheat. But system on paper is a much different thing than software.
Yes.
That means banning people quicker. Hey, maybe they're hiring 2 more people to ban cheaters, and that's their new system, right?
Exactly.
Say software, so we know it's legit, and you actually mean software. So, I mean, judging so far about everything else this person has written, it could just be a software, and they just don't say that. But, I don't know.
And we'll get more details, supposedly, before it launches the game, Vanguard, so we'll see. Yeah, I don't know what anti-cheat system means. I just don't know. But I don't believe that it's like something third party, which is what I think we all should want. Because if that were the case, I feel like they would have said that by now.
Well, it's not
I don't know.
third party. It's going to be their own thing, but it could still be
in-house.
software. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. But even that, I don't think is going to be the case. But I don't know. Yeah, hopefully this is disastrously poorly written.
Yeah.
And then, once again, Vanguard is powered by the next-gen engine first introduced in MDub. Optimized to be a good engine, whatever. So, don't care. Let's see. So, this is interesting. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S, and PC can party up and play together. So, it's going to be cross-play again. And it's still going to run on the old generations of consoles, which is cool. So I like that actually quite a bit. How well will it run on like a PS4? I don't know, but I mean, probably fairly well. Otherwise they wouldn't release it for that. I'm kind of surprised it's still going to run on PS4, but not terribly. I wouldn't expect the next COD 2022 to run on your PS4 or Xbox One though. But it is cool that it's going to be that way for this one. And then the same battle pass system comes back. I'm very pleased with that. You can still get only cosmetics with your money, which is great. And then additional intel is incoming. So they say like whatever, follow everyone or something. So a lot of info there. A lot of that was confirmation of things we've already discussed on this podcast. Some of that was fairly new.
Yeah.
Not really much else to say other than what we've already talked about. So now we have an article from Charlie Intel. Again, talking about how Vanguard will be run on the MDub engine.
Yeah, I don't know if there was much else there. Let me see. We may have already covered it. Yeah, they confirmed it's running on the Modern Warfare engine. Thought there was something else. Okay. There's something in here that's interesting. So the Sledgehammer Games team has also worked to introduce a new damage layer system to the engine, which allows surfaces to accumulate damage and persist over the course of games. Like Battlefield. They're saying destruction, basically. How Battlefield, like, you can shoot at a wall. Like, you can shoot at a wall and it won't do anything, and then the next time you shoot at it, it's finally taken enough damage and it'll blow up, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that was mentioned in that article too, and I forgot to mention it. But is this a confirmation of like destructible environments? I don't know. Certainly,
that's what it sounds like to me.
That way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is all part of the new destructible environment features in Vanguard's multiplayer, allowing players to destroy objects and create new lines of sight during a match. Yeah.
So then the question becomes, is this updated engine going to be what the Warzone map is going to be run on? Or is this going to be only for Vanguard? Because that is an open question, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Maybe there won't be destruction in Warzone. I don't think that's been confirmed. It's just now been confirmed for multiplayer for sure.
Because yeah, in this article it says specifically, this is all part of the new destructible environment features in Vanguard's multiplayer mode, allowing players to destroy objects and create new lines of sight during a match. Yeah.
Yeah, because... Yeah, that's a good question, because like we were saying earlier when we were streaming the event, Vanguard is going to... You'll launch Warzone from Vanguard, since it's the Modern Warfare engine. They couldn't do it with Cold War because they were different engines. So you're going to be able to uninstall Modern Warfare, probably, and then launch it from Vanguard, which means I would imagine everything from Vanguard would be coming into Warzone, that taking in like the destructible environment and shit too. We've talked about that in the past too, wondering how that would play. I don't know, because it'd be dope if somebody's camping in a building. I could throw fucking Semtex at the wall and it would blow part of it apart. That would be cool, but also it would probably be also get old pretty quick and would... I don't know. I don't know if that'd be good for the game or bad. I'd have to test it.
Yeah, I don't know how... Yeah, I don't know how destructible environments would play in like sixes.
Yeah.
It would be good for people who camp, though. That's one thing about Battlefield that I kind of like, is that if you just get in a building and try to snipe out of it the whole game, like sometimes you can get away with it, but a lot of times the tank's just going to shoot your fucking roof off and then you're going to have to move or die. And it's very anti-camper, allowing for the destruction of buildings. So I think that could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But maybe it would also get annoying. I don't know. Hard to say. That is something you're just going to, have to play with for sure. And then also destructible environments and only sixes. Like, when I think destructible environments, I think Battlefield, of course, and I think walls and roofs being blown off by tanks.
Yeah.
You can blow a building up with like dynamite in BF5, for example, but most of the time that happens, it's because of a vehicle.
It's usually all tanks, yeah. Tanks and planes, obviously. But yeah, those are the things destroying buildings. That's what I do when I get in a tank. I start just shooting at buildings when I know somebody's in there and you blow them the fuck up, so.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So a lot of these we already talked about, Tanner, but this next article... Call of Duty Vanguard beta code CDL champs. What are we...
Hold on, no, this next article has some other weird shit in here. So this one prior, Call of Duty Vanguard multiplayer introduces new combat pacing gameplay options. Vanguard introduces 3 new ways for players to experience multiplayer.
Oh.
Tactical, standard, and blitz. Interesting. So tactical is similar to hardcore, basically. It increases the time to combat, they call it, with intense experiences where every bullet matters. The games are described as sweaty matches by some multiplayer dipshit from Sledgehammer. Doesn't know what he's talking about. Hardcore is not sweaty. There's not intense gunfights because somebody's dead in a bullet. It's the opposite of what he's describing. Again,
that's true.
These guys don't play their games typically. The second one is standard, which is regular multiplayer experience in Call of Duty. The third is called Blitz. This is more casual but super high-action gameplay. This combat pacing packs as many players as possible into a single map that can fit within the size of the square meters on each map. It's described as pure chaos and fun. So, kind of confused by this. Does that mean, like, you know how now we can queue for hardcore regular? Is this just that? So it's like maybe you can do hardcore shipment 1944. Then you can do regular shipment 1944. And then you can do blitz shipment 1944, which has 20 players on it.
Yes.
I think that's
exactly
means?
what this does. Yeah, this sounds like a lot of pageantry for something we already have.
Except for Blitz. Called
filters, except for Blitz.
Unless Blitz is going to be like their new version of Ground War or something. But also it says...
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Well, it doesn't say smaller maps. It says fit as many players into a single map. Doesn't necessarily say they have to be small maps.
Yeah, not necessarily. It could just be like, you know, slums, but it's 12v12. You know, like that would be an example of Blitz. It's like
Yeah.
a map. You know,
I would love for Blitz to be regular, good old 10s from MW 2019.
true.
10s
With
was the best
smaller,
part.
which is what.
And for all you listeners that didn't
needed.
play 10s, fuck you. You're the reason we had to stop playing 10s, Dom, because you fucking people didn't play it.
True.
6s suck dick in Modern Warfare. 10s was the move. You guys are dumb. You guys were pussies and didn't play it, and you ruined it for us. 10s was the best mode in Modern Warfare by a fucking mile. That and Ground War, and you dipshits stuck to 10s and ruined it for us. Fuck you. So when we tell you when Vanguard launches what the best game mode is, maybe listen to us this time. Because we had everyone during Modern Warfare finally come to us and say, dude, you guys are right. This game sucks unless you play 10s. Then it's playable and pretty damn fun. So fuck you.
Rest
I'm
in peace,
furious.
10s, Dom.
You listening ruined 10s, Dom, and I hate you for it.
True. Real and true. Yeah. Onto this 3 different things. Yeah, this is literally just like instead of the, so you know how you have like the standard and hardcore filters right now and like MW multiplayer? You're just going to have those plus Blitz, and then you can queue for like multiple at the same time.
Yep.
So you'd be able to queue for like hardcore TDM and regular TDM at the same time instead of having to switch between them. I think that's, excuse me, all this means.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That Blitz mode does sound fun, but I don't think it's super transformative. But it is interesting for sure, nonetheless. And then yeah, let's move on to this next one. Call of Duty Vanguard beta code. How to earn by watching CDL champs.
Yeah, so the open beta, the dates are not confirmed yet. People like Charlie Intel are assuming. Well, Charlie Intel said probably the first week of October, so they say probably the first week of October. Open beta is the first week of October. It's really just that simple.
Yeah, it is correct. Yes.
So you have a chance to win. They don't describe it very well. Call of Duty, not Charlie Intel. They say early access to the beta. They don't say if that means like you get it a weekend early, a day early from the open beta, if it's its own beta that you are part of. I'm not sure, but you have a chance to win early access beta code by watching COD Champs this Sunday, the 22nd, starting at 11:30 a.m. They stream it on YouTube. It'll probably be like you type something in chat, you get entered in a lottery. They're going to be dropping 25,000 open beta codes. The cool thing is, if you win the code, you get 2 codes. So you get one for you, one for your buddy. So you guys can play together. So that's a great idea. So basically 50,000 codes will be given away. I would imagine this is just early access to that open beta because it'll probably be like PlayStation exclusive gets beta weekend early like it's been in the past.
Yes. I agree.
So if they're doing open codes, they can't do that because if I'm on PC and get a code, what is the code only going to be for PlayStation? No, they would say that, I think. So I'd imagine you just get to play the beta like a day early. Like the beta probably comes out Friday night or Thursday night, you get to play it like Wednesday night or something.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. So if you guys want a chance to win, we need to remember to do that on Sunday. Try to get a beta code.
Yeah, another thing we forgot to mention is Vanguard pre-orders are now live. Oh, we're going to mention that.
We're going to get into that a little bit. That was kind of like the last thing.
Bundles.
Yeah, this is all kind of fucked up and out of order, guys. It's hard to put this shit in order because it's all over the place, but...
And we didn't have the most time because we were streaming this afternoon, the release, and it just came out. So yeah, this is kind of a shit show, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Anyways, yeah, another question I have is, like, we pre-ordered, so we're going to get beta access. I wonder if you get early access just by pre-ordering, or if this is even earlier access. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is unclear. But either way, I think it's worth probably doing. And this, by the way, to watch CDL, this is going to be via YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Right?
They stream it on YouTube. Yep.
Yes. So you need to link your
it is, but figure it out.
Activision account to your YouTube account and then watch the Call of Duty YouTube channel live stream, and then you'll have a chance to win. Similar to how they used to do Twitch drops, it's going to be the same kind of thing.
Yeah, and
You'll
it doesn't
get, like,
say
a message that gives you a code or 2.
Yeah, it doesn't say when. It just says CDL champs on Sunday starting at 11:30. So it may not be right then and maybe a few hours later, but that's when the event starts. So
Yes.
just have the tab open while you're doing other shit and pay attention to chat or whatever.
Correct. Yes.
This
next article.
Next
we
article.
kinda
This
already
may
talked
be
about, right?
some more. Yeah, let me scroll through here, see if there's anything different. I guess that's about it. There's one thing though. They keep saying we're getting a new Warzone map at launch. What Tom Henderson said earlier is more than likely this is coming with Season 1. So, maybe not day 1. I think he threw out a date. I want to say it was like maybe November 23rd he was thinking. And that would be the start of Season 1. And then that's when we get the new map. So don't expect to launch the game on November 5th and have the new Warzone map yet. It's a possibility. Because they keep saying new Warzone map at launch. Or like that's what Charlie Intel says. Tom said it's probably not going to come until Season 1 though. Which would make the most sense, actually.
Yes, I agree.
Basically
I think
force
that's-
everyone to try
yeah.
the multiplayer for a few weeks. And then everyone moves on to Warzone, you know? And that's totally fine. If this is a fun multiplayer experience, I have no issues with that. If the multiplayer sucks, that's going to not be the greatest. But regardless, it'll be a new game. There will be a lot of things to talk about, a lot of content. So it'll be fun.
And a lot of shit to try, yeah. And this will be the best chance that Activision has to have a relatively smooth launch. If they try and just do everything on one day, then if there's an issue in 2 things, they have to like scramble hard. Whereas if they kind of stagger the launch a little bit, they can release just multiplayer, iron out the issues, the bugs that it will have for a couple of weeks, and then once it's mostly smoothed over, then release Warzone, repeat. They don't want to do it all at once. I would be shocked if the new Warzone map was available on the 5th. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that's
Tom's
doing a
probably
lot
right
at
about
once.
this.
So the Season 1 makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
People
I
will
agree.
be mad about it, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Tell them to stay mad. That phone is older than your grandma. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a cell phone ringtone.
Okay.
My
What kind of
grandma's
fucking
dead,
hipster
so
dipshit
thanks.
ringtone is that?
I think it's the standard ringtone that comes with an iPhone, honestly.
All right.
Cool.
Next, we have some information on the pre-orders. So as we said, pre-orders are now live for Vanguard. The main reason you would do this is for beta access, early access to the Call
And you're
of
gonna
Duty
buy it
Vanguard
anyways.
open beta. And if you're listening to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, guess what, dipshit? You will be buying this game. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Therefore, honestly, as much as I hate Activision, you might as well just get it now so you can get the open beta. Because I know there are some of you last year, for example, who bought Cold War, but you didn't pre-order it, and then and you said, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna see if the game's good first before I buy it." You saw it's bad, and then you bought it anyway. And also, when the open beta was going on, your friends were all in a Discord channel having fun, snickering, laughing at you behind your back because you didn't want to pre-order the game because you had your self-righteous nose in the air. You bought it anyway a couple months later, didn't you, listener? Yeah, I know you
sure
did.
did, pussy.
You disgust me. And you just had wished you had pre-ordered. So just pre-order the goddamn game. Get the open beta access, if only for that reason. There are 3 editions. There's standard, there is cross-gen, and there is ultimate edition. I think cross-gen's like $80.
It says right here,
$70.
59, 69, and 99 respectively.
Yes.
And yeah, you get early access to the beta for all of those. You get some dog shit bundles. I think I just posted those images so I have them, but you can all read that. And then pretty much I think the only other thing you get with the ultimate is you get some operator skins, a few weapon blueprints with tracer rounds. Cringe, don't want those anyways. Don't use them, they give away your position more than anything. And then you get a season 1 battle pass with 20 tier skips. So ultimate is more, but also like What is the battle pass every time? 10 bucks?
20.
20 for that one. No, it
it's
is 20 for
10.
that one with the tier skips though.
It's 20 for the tier skip bundle.
So
yeah, you're
Ultimate is really, it's not much more than just buying the game and then getting the tier skips. And then you get like 10 hours of double XP, 5 hours of like double weapon XP, etc. So if you're going to play the game a lot, just order the Ultimate Edition. Still $100 for a game you play hundreds of hours is not very much.
Yeah, if you think about it in terms of how much money you'll spend per minute you use the product, then, I mean, boy, you could do worse. However, I would say, unless you're ballin', don't buy Ultimate Edition, because I've bought the Ultimate Edition of like every Call of Duty game in the last like 5 years, including Vanguard, because I'm a fucking idiot. And
I didn't pre-order it yet.
And I've never used I already did because I'm dumb. And I never used the cosmetics it comes with.
True. They're
like
the worst.
Like I don't even know what the cosmetics are for like MDub.
Yeah,
pre-order.
I couldn't tell you. I don't
like
remember
I have
what
no
they were.
idea. Yeah, and no one uses
I think it was
them.
like,
I don't care.
I think it was like a 1911 blueprint. And it's like you don't use that.
It was an M4 blueprint and something else.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of nice for 30 minutes when you unlock the gun, but you can't put the attachments you want on it.
Yeah.
So at level 1, you have some attachments on your gun. Is that worth fucking $40? Of course not.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh.
it's nice. So I don't know.
True.
But pre-ordering it, even the standard edition, I would say is worth it. If you're listening to a podcast about Call of Duty, the video game, because you know you're going to buy it at some point anyway. You might as well get on the beta as well. Get in on the beta as well. So I would.
Exactly.
That's kind of what I would say. And then one other thing I want to talk about before we wrapped up here is that I forgot to mention this. Well, we mentioned it, but we forgot to talk about it. Different calibers as options in like the gunsmith or whatever.
Yeah.
And so full disclosure, there is a lot more information and leaks out there online right now than we've covered. It's not that we didn't see them. It's that we're not going to cover every single leak we got today because there's a lot and we will get to it in time. And we just kind of wanted to hit broad strokes.
We're also thinking about doing a Patreon episode this month where we go in depth and cover a lot more of the leaks and really break things down. Possibly.
Yeah, we could possibly
Not sure,
do
but
that.
maybe.
And also talking about, it's fun to like prognosticate on what something's going to be, but we rest assured we will be talking in depth about every new thing in Vanguard once it's actually released. And that's when it's actually going to matter, because then we'll know what we're talking about, obviously. But one thing that we did touch on that I would like to talk about quickly is the caliber attachments for guns. And Tanner and I were talking about this a little bit off air. One thing Tanner was saying, which I think I agree with, but I'm not positive, is that this could just mean the same thing as like the ammo conversion that we have in MDub. However, you can also look at a game like Escape from Tarkov. If you wanted to use an MP5, the rounds are 9x19 Parabellum rounds.
Yeah.
But you can put different types of 9x19 ammo in there. That's still the same size, obviously, so it's not an ammo conversion, but it's just a different type of round. So you could have a tracer round, or you could have like a armor piercing round, hollow point round, and that would be different than an ammo conversion kit on like an MDub AUG, which takes a 9x19 millimeter round and converts the whole fucking thing to firing NATO ammo out of your SMG. That's different than changing what type of round it is at the same size. It's changing the size of the round as well. What do we think not ammo conversion. What do they call it? What do they call it? Ammo types or something? You remember what I'm talking about?
They call
cartridge.
They call it ammo types
Cartridge.
in this.
Ammo cartridges. Okay, yeah. What do we think that means?
I think there may be a possibility that we're going to get magazines as one category and then ammo types as another. Because they kind of... So the reason we're talking about this is because in the bundles that you get for some of the pre-orders. It tells you about the gun. Here's one, for example. The Snowstorm, it has a magazine with extra large caliber bullets and an ammo type that is armor piercing. So that makes it sound like
both.
Like he was just saying in Tarkov. Tarkov 9x19 for an MP5. There's a 20 round mag, a 30 round mag, and a 50 round mag. In any of those mags, you can put 5 different types of ammunition. I'm wondering if that's what we're going to get. So we're going to get the option for a standard magazine, maybe like a 40 round fast, maybe a 50 round standard mag. And then in those, there's different ammo types. There may be armor piercing that goes through armor plates a little bit better, which if that gets into Warzone, that's a whole nother topic that will not be implemented very well. I think it'd be a disaster, hard to balance. And then you get something that does more maybe flesh damage and doesn't pierce through armor as well. But again, it's like how there's not really armor in multiplayer. So what's with this armor piercing thing? So if you keep reading, it says with armor piercing combines to devastate both infantry and vehicular targets. Strong emphasis on vehicles again.
So what I'm thinking is they bring back one of the kill streaks to be armor plates like they have in Cold War. And then also the rounds do more damage to vehicles, similar to like a cavalry lancer barrel in Cold War, or to FMJ, the weapon perk in MW, for example. The difference, though, would be that unlike Cold War and MW, if you want to do extra damage to armor plates in multiplayer and vehicles, you have to sacrifice infantry damage. So like if you ran FMJ on a PKM in MW multiplayer, you're going to kill a VTOL a lot faster, but you're going to kill an enemy player just as fast as if you had not had FMJ. Now, you can either take the ammo that's going to be better against the VTOL and the trade-off is it's worse against people, or vice versa. You could take ammo that's better against people, but fucking dog shit against vehicles. And then maybe there's a third ammo type that's standard, where the damage to people is fine and the damage to vehicles is also fine. In theory, this idea is very cute. However, why the fuck would I not always run the max flesh damage ammo type in multiplayer ever? Because I'm not going to be shooting at a fucking B-52 with my PPSH in World War II. It's not happening. So why the fuck do I care about doing armor damage?
Well,
it seems silly to me.
If we're playing like a war game mode, if there's like a war type game mode where we have to go up against tanks, having armor piercing bullets would be the best thing they can do, actually. Because what's the issue with Battlefield? Unless you have a rocket launcher or a C4, you're just fucked. So if I can shoot at a tank and do a lot of damage with armor piercing bullets, that would be really good, actually. And that's one way to balance vehicles. Hey, did Call of Duty just balance vehicles better their first time than Battlefield ever has? Maybe. Who knows? But that's a thought. I don't know. More than anything, this is maybe these ammo conversions or ammo types is just going to be like filler shit. It's just going to be so they can say, oh, there's 75 different attachments for this gun. And there's 6 different bullets and 5 of them don't matter. Something like that, you know? Also, this could be something where we don't have access to those inside of Warzone, maybe. Like, maybe Warzone is still, like, the same regular weapon attachments, and there's no ammo conversions or ammo types if it's in its own category, but that wouldn't really seem to make sense, but they can do a bunch of different things with that, so.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point you made on countering, like, tanks and stuff.
Balance it pretty well.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking, if I'm playing the war game mode, but I don't want to get in a vehicle myself, but I'm tired of getting destroyed by tanks, I could run like a rocket launcher or something, sure. But also, maybe you could use your LMG class, put in AP rounds, and then you'll still be able to kill people pretty fucking easily. But also, you can really fuck up tanks. And maybe in addition to, or even instead of doing a bunch of damage to the vehicle itself, you get rounds that allow you to kill the person driving it, even if you don't kill the vehicle. So like, if you have AP rounds, you can wallbang tanks. And if you don't have AP rounds, you can't. And then you could just shoot for the driver inside, you know?
Yeah. That's actually...
Maybe that could be a part of it too.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, because regular guns don't do like anything to tanks in Battlefield, right? Maybe like a very small amount, but it's
a tiny
not
bit,
worth doing. So if you can actually use armor-piercing ammo and really mess up tanks, that's the perfect way to balance them.
True. Because if you got like 4 fucking LMGs to just mag dump a tank with AP rounds, unless they catastrophically fuck up AP rounds so that they don't matter at all, then you would kill it really quick. Because think about 4 people in Ground War getting FMJ PKMs and shooting at a VTOL at the same time. That thing is going down real quick. So maybe this will be the same thing. That would be great. So that has some promise, and its implementation in Warzone is an entirely separate question that, frankly, we don't have enough to speculate on right now. But as, at least for the war mode and multiplayer in general, I think it can be done really well. And I don't think it can hurt. I think the worst case scenario is that it just doesn't matter, in the same way that MW assault rifles have 14 optics that don't matter ever. That's not great, but who cares? Just don't use them. It's not that big of a deal. And this, I think, worst case scenario, the different ammo types will amount to that. It's like, okay, well, I don't care. So overall, I think this is good. I think that's good news. And I think it's an interesting idea. And another thing too is that, like, with all these ambitions Call of Duty has for this game, they're not going to do everything well. There's no chance the vehicles work well, the balance works well, the playlists are done correctly, the fucking 10 attachments per gun is done well. There's simply no chance. However, if they try a bunch of shit, they can learn from their experiences here and then better tune and balance them, so that maybe in 3 years, all this shit is balanced really well. And then we have cool ammo conversions that matter, and cool vehicle play that is balanced and fun, and there's outplay and counterplay potential, and all the rest of it. And then that would be really good. But make no mistake, there's a lot of innovative ideas coming to Vanguard, a lot of novel systems and mechanics coming to the Call of Duty world. They won't all be done well.
Yeah, true.
There's just no chance.
Yeah.
I mean, even if this was a boilerplate standard Call of Duty game, it's not all going to be done well. It's Activision. We know that. Especially with all these ambitions. They're not all going to be done well. But it's at least going to allow for them to collect a lot of data for a whole year and then use what are cool ideas implemented poorly, improve upon them, and then maybe for 2022 or 2023, we'll have these cool ideas, but they'll be implemented well. And then that's a good thing. So overall, I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
And there is definitely some promise for Vanguard. And all of these people, these leakers who were saying, oh, Vanguard looks like shit, a couple months ago are now saying it looks fucking awesome. I hope they're right.
Better be.
But I'm glad that they're saying that. It's better that they're saying that than if they're saying, yep, still dog shit. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's good news too. So other than that, Tanner, I think that's about it for today. Anything else you wanted to discuss?
Nope.
Cool. All right then. That is it, boys and girls. As we said, there were more leaks and stuff. We will cover that soon as it becomes more relevant. I think we didn't want to go into huge detail on everything. Frankly, we didn't have time to prepare for every single thing that was leaked today, because we did stream today for the reveal event and all that stuff. But we hit the broad strokes and most of the important things. And if there is some leak that we missed today that's really interesting, which didn't happen, but in the off chance it did, we'll get to it next week. So, reminder, and I should have said this in the announcements, there will be no podcast on Saturday. There's only one podcast this week. It is this one. We are doing the tournament on Saturday. That is going to be all of our time. And if you can be here live for it, be here live for it. It's going to be fun and exciting. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/thedropshot. 5 bonus eps a month, weekly hangouts, community events like the tournament, gameplay breakdowns, and more. Thedropshot.com, you can find the link to the Patreon there, or you can find the link to our TikTok, our YouTube, our Discord. Join the fucking Discord, our hub, where we outreach to the community the most, our Twitter at the Dropshot Pod. Get connected. Be a king. Be an engagement goblin king, and connect on everything, dude. Figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Yep.
Follow on Twitter. Follow on TikTok. Join the fucking Discord. Join the fucking Patreon. It's the best way to support the show. It's how we're funded. And it's the best way for you as well, because that's where we offer all of our bonus content. And we already have more than 50 bonus episodes there, by the way. So if you're real bored at work lately and you're getting in the Call of Duty mood, you can sign up for that bitch. And then you'll have hours of dog shit content to listen to at work to get you hyped up for Call of Duty. So
Yep.
that is it, boys and girls. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see you live for the tournament on Saturday, the 21st at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Be there at thedropshot.com/live. Have an excellent evening in the meantime, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.